Tantukiwa Watson Whitford Sigason Asni Watitikutinia Nigutua sa Natatapunan Egwa Tabahan Nishle Chupakri Bashishchim Batni Dashiche Chupakri Dashinele. Hello everybody, my name is Watson Whitford. I come from the Chupakri tribe in Rocky Boy, Montana, and also from the Navajo Nation. And tonight with me I have Dr. Galiatsatos from the Johns Hopkins University. And I hope you guys enjoy this video. Okay. Well, good evening, Dr. G. And it's good to see you again. And so this evening I'll be asking you some questions about COVID and just like kind of have some updates, and then also about the new Delta variant. So my first question, to me, it seems pretty obvious, but is the pandemic over?
No, it's a great question. And for some regions of the world, it may feel like that, right? And those could be regions because COVID cases are so low, either because they're doing great with infectious control policies, face masking, physical distancing, or they have a high rate of vaccinations, or maybe a combination of the two. But the pandemic is not over. And I say this because we can't have success region by region. The whole world needs to have the success, because one region's struggles is going to eventually spill over to us in some way, shape, or form, even with the variants, right? Regions where the pandemic is still aggressive, they may spill over into creating a variant that undoes all the good work other regions have. So you're spot on, Watson. The pandemic is not over. It may feel like that certain parts, but we're all in this together. So we gotta make sure every region gets the successes.
Okay, cool. And then the next question is, do you recommend mask wearing for unvaccinated and vaccinated people?
Watson, my friend, I'm going to call you Dr. Watson, seriously, because when you asked me this question via email yesterday, and I've been thinking about it, and then lo and behold, the CDC comes out and recommends everyone still wears face masks.
Yeah.
So I would, and even before the CDC recommended it, I would have, for this very reason. There's a lot of great benefits that we get to enjoy if you've been vaccinated. However, you need to be conscious of who you hang out with. So I have kids. So I wear face masks out, because even if I get COVID and I know it's going to be mild at the worst because I've been vaccinated, I still may pass it on to my children. So yes, right now, until again, we have a uniform success that's felt in every region, I would face mask. I would definitely get the vaccine and get the wear a face mask for the time being.
Yeah, I have pretty much the same reasons as you do, because I have little sisters that are unable to get vaccinated. And so, me and my parents and my family still wear masks to protect them because they're not able to get vaccinated. And then, so my third question is, how does the vaccine help?
So when vaccines are designed, they're designed really with the intention of, will this keep you alive? Right, that's it. The vaccines aren't designed to say, well, we stop transmission. It's really hard to prove, right? Because you need a lot of people to be vaccinated. So it's always designed with, will this save your life, right? Meaning, if you got vaccinated, if COVID tries to make its way into you, you'll be fine. Majority of us won't feel anything. We won't have any symptoms. Others may get a mild case, which is fine. If we convert COVID into just a common cold, we won. We can go back to our lives. And for those who get the common cold, you may be miserable for a day or two, but it's nothing life-threatening. It's nothing that warrants shutting us down. So that's what the vaccine is intended against COVID. It is meant to keep you alive. I always use the analogy, it's kind of like wearing a bulletproof vest. If bullets are still flying around and you get struck by it, you'll be alive. It'll hurt, but you'll be alive. That's the intention of the vaccine. Now, if enough of us are vaccinated, we end COVID, right? Because this virus can't find anyone to do what its biology wants it to do, make more of itself. We can put an end to it. Just like our ancestors, a few generations before us, ended smallpox for us, right? How many grandparents and grandmothers, grandfathers are walking around with their smallpox vaccine scar? And if you ask them, why did you get it? Right? Like my grandparents, my mom says every day, she goes, oh, I got it because I was told it would protect my kids. It's amazing. Get the shot, protect yourself, it'll protect others.
Mm-hmm. And then I think that's a really important thing right now is protecting others, not to just think of yourself, but to think of others too. That's one thing that I've learned through this pandemic is that you don't just think about yourself. You always have to think about others and protecting other people too. And then my fourth question is, can you explain the difference in symptoms of a vaccinated person and an unvaccinated person?
So around this time last year, Watson, you and I were our paths were crossing. And I would tell people in the intensive care unit, it was last year was just horrible.
Mhm.
Right now in the intensive care units of a hospital in a region with a high majority of vaccinated individuals, the only patients in my intensive care unit with COVID-19 are those who have not been vaccinated. So it's an unvaccinated issue.
Mhm.
So with regards to symptoms, if you've been vaccinated, majority of us, you won't feel anything. It may just come and go. Some of us may get a mild case. For vaccinated people, you will get very severe disease, right? That's key, right? You may get life-threatening versions of COVID if you haven't been vaccinated. So that's the difference in the symptoms.
Okay, cool. Thank you. And then what is the new Delta variant and how serious is it?
So real quick, variances. Every human being, every child, you're a variant of your parents, right? That's what happens when you make more of something. So this virus mutates all the time. If one of the mutations makes it more transmissible or more lethal, then we dub a variant of interest. And right now there's 4 of them: Eta, Iota, Kappa, and Lambda. If one of those mutations makes it much more prevalent, much more lethal, or weakens the vaccine, then you become a variant of concern. And right now there's 4 of them: Alpha, Beta, Gamma, and Delta. So Delta's gotten our attention no different than the newest Marvel movie gets our attention. We're glad the last ones were not from a Marvel movie. We're glad the last ones are there, but are all our intentions the one that's the most popular. Same thing with Delta variant. It's the one that's most common now. It's spreading much easier than its predecessors. And if it spreads easier and gets into you easier, it's more likely to cause more severe disease faster. So that's what we're seeing with regard to the Delta variant. But the good news is the vaccines are still very effective against it. So one of the other reasons to continue emphasizing the promotion of these vaccines, and I already said earlier, there's 4 other variants that are of interest. They could overtake the Delta variant, and then we're going to be challenged again. Do the vaccines work against it? So if you want to prevent that, if you don't want a sequel to the Delta, we can end it. Vaccines.
And then my mom actually had a question that was pertaining to the Delta variant. We know that COVID-19, coronavirus, it's pretty contagious, by coughing, talking, those air particles that come out of your mouth, your nose. And so what does it mean to be more contagious?
Right. So if I breathed one little particle of the virus and you breathed it in, you'd be fine. Right? Think of this like what's a good analogy, right? Think of like one little ant walking up to, you'd be like, oh, how about a bee? We'll go with bee. One bee buzzing around you, you'd be like, annoying. If a million bees came at you, you'd run for your life. You'd be freaked out, right? So that's what we allude to when we talk about transmission. We talk about it, there's a variety of ways to talk about it, but I think a good way is around how much viral load do you need? And so the original one, you needed a good amount. So that usually meant you had to be close proximity with someone for about 15 minutes, then breathing out their air and you breathing it in. This one, you don't need as much viral load to get sick. So that usually means 2 or 3 minutes, you're good to go. So as opposed to the million bee example I gave you, imagine just 12 bees, but they're the size of you. You'd be freaked out. That's what we're alluding to with the Delta. It can do the same job as its predecessors, just without as much viral load.
Okay, that's actually pretty interesting. And then how effective are the vaccines against the new Delta variant?
They're effective. If I was given a yes or no question, yes, they're effective, or no, they're not, yes, they are. Are they as effective as the original one, the alpha? No, you lost a little bit of effectiveness, but again, it's like going like from an A to a B. That's still great. That's amazing. Your parents will still be proud. So they'll still get the job done. If you don't want to test the vaccines against other variances, let's end it with Delta. Let's stop it right there. And if enough of us are vaccinated, you won't have to learn any other Greek letters.
Mm-hmm. And then, are they working on a new vaccine or booster that will better fight Delta just because it's, just a little,
Yeah.
less effective?
No, it's a great question, Watson. I will tell you, we try to keep up with Mother Nature as much as we can. So yeah, we're right now tinkering the vaccines to try to actually, since we saw these variances come out already, we're trying to create a vaccine that could be ahead of the game.
Mhm.
So if we get a breakthrough variant against the current vaccines, we'll be ready to go. So yes, the answer is we're trying to stay ahead of the game and create a vaccine that could be more effective. Boosters, I would say this: if I was a gambling man, I think we will need boosters. Do we need them right now? No. Will we need them in the foreseeable future? Maybe. Will we need them in the long-term future? Possibly. So from my standpoint, all of this is happening in real time. But if you don't want to worry about, because that's what we do as scientists, kind of plan for the worst. That's why we're making boosters, that we're updated vaccines. If you don't ever want to be fearful of that, get the vaccine now. It's highly effective, and put an end to it.
Okay, my next question is, when will children 11 and under be able to get vaccinated?
So that's an important question, right? And it's not that we like dragged our feet to get these trials going. These children, these pediatric trials happen almost the same time as the adult trials. They just take longer times to recruit, a lot more paperwork.
Mm-hmm.
So my suspicion is probably 5 and 11 will get the vaccines this fall, probably late fall.
What is a breakthrough case?
Breakthrough case. So I wouldn't be, it sounds scary, but all it means is someone got the vaccine and then you developed COVID. What you have to understand is, though, all of those patients who develop COVID that are vaccinated, majority, 98% to 99%, they are all mild, which is exactly what the intention of the vaccine is for, right? The vaccine's job is to keep you out of the hospital. And so if I have a mild case of COVID, that's like having the common cold, right? Yeah, I'll be miserable. I may miss a day or two of work, but my life is not being threatened. So that's what we mean by breakthrough. And I want to be cautious with this because people misconstrue. They're like, oh, look, breakthrough cases are happening. No, my friend. The quality of the breakthrough is exactly what the vaccines are intended to do. It did exactly that. It made COVID nothing more than a common cold.
Okay. And then just, do you have any more new information or updates about COVID vaccines or anything like that?
Watson, you've covered all the big ones, man. So there's likely going to be a fourth vaccine available, August or September, from Novavax. A little bit of different technology, right? Moderna and Pfizer use genetics, right, and mRNA, put it in us, then our cells take the genetic material and make more protein. Johnson & Johnson gives you a viral vector, so kind of a virus who carries in the protein and shows it off. Novavax, what's cool is it actually just injects you with like billions of the spike protein. That's it. So a ton of it injected, our body recognizes it and makes more antibodies against it. That probably will come out in August, if not September. That is a two-shot vaccine as well. So that's most updated information. So we're likely going to get a fourth one. But again, look, the last comment I'll make, Watson, you were saying this earlier about wanting to protect your sister. I love that about you. You're an amazing human being. What I want to say to all your listeners is this pandemic involves us all. And I mean this from the bottom of my heart. You should wake up every day and saying, what am I doing to end this pandemic? It could be as simple as, well, I got the vaccine, so I played my role. Fine. Or I called my cousin and told him more information to try to convince him. Great. Use your judgment, right? You know your family, you know your friends, talk to them. But we got to all end this. And I say this because we have the antidote. And now a year later, walking the halls of the intensive care units at Johns Hopkins, where a lot of my patients are like, man, I wish I did get the vaccine. My heart breaks because I just wish we could have gotten the information back to them earlier. I wish we could have had you, Watson, give them this information, right? You would have saved these lives. But now, my friend, this hopefully will save lives.
Thank you very much, and I'm really glad to have you here with me and being able to answer my questions. It's really helpful to my community because there's more cases that are actually showing up, um, just because of people being starting to be laid back and because of vaccinations and stuff. But I still think people should try to do their best to um, keep wearing masks and um, just trying to protect others. So thank you very much, Dr. Galiatsatos.
No worries, Watson. And I agree with you. I'll say this closing comment. As long as there's an unvaccinated population, right? And there is, children, we still got to be cautious around them. So get the vaccine. You can still emerge in life. You can still enjoy yourself. It's just, you can still do a lot, fully with a face mask and so forth. So just remember this pandemic isn't over, and there's that vulnerable population like Watson's sister and others. So keep doing your part. And Watson, I commend you, my friend. I'm hoping this video, given your questions, will do well, not just for your community, but others across the world. So thank you, sir.
Thank you. I want to thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it and learned something new that you could share with everybody else. And I hope that you could be safe and be protected. Make sure to watch out for others, wash your hands, wear your mask, and get vaccinated. So I want to thank you again. Thank you, Dr. Galiatsatos, for this information. It's really important to our community, the indigenous population, and everybody else. And I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Good night, good evening, and good morning.